Shan Daniels. I was 11 when I started giving. My mom's friend, Cara Moses, works with this organization, and when I heard the story of what was going on, I wanted to give to them. I heard about Ethiopia, the girls in Ethiopia, and they were on their period and they weren't getting sanitary napkins, so they would miss out on weeks of school every month. And so I felt bad for them because I know how hard it is being on their period, and so I wanted to help them out. It feels really great knowing that I'm helping them love Jesus and Jesus loved them, and helping them know that they're loved. I couldn't imagine if girls my age were just now starting this and they couldn't go to school. It'd be like a whole nightmare for me, and that's why it resonated with me so much.
How are the challenges faced by young girls in Ethiopia any different than those faced by girls everywhere? What is happening that is so different from what girls deal with here in America? I must warn you, the answer to this question is graphic and will be challenging, but it must be shared in order to uncover hope, because, yes, there is hope to be found. A normal, regular life for a young girl in Ethiopia is incredibly hard. If she lives in a village, she is the one who carries water and does all the heavy household labor, even at a young age. Public school, in both the city and in the rural areas, is not free and is often out of question. When there is a cycle of generational poverty, access to basic needs and nourishing food is a constant battle, and education is often seen by the family and community as a luxury. Hope for the future is lost in a lack of education and a simple daily struggle to survive. If a girl makes it to school, she will likely end up dropping out once she hits puberty. Menstruation carries with it a stigma of confusion and shame in Ethiopia. Moms do not talk to their daughters about what is happening within their body. And even if they do, they don't have access to the items they need to care for themselves while on their cycle. So what happens? Once she hits adolescence, she will stay home from school while on her period. Sometimes for a week at a time, month after month. After missing school so regularly, it's impossible to catch up. When school itself is a luxury her family cannot afford, and life itself is already a struggle, she will just drop out. Let that sink in. Something as simple as feminine hygiene products is enough to rip a young girl from the hope of education. We take this for granted in the United States. We could never imagine our own daughters, nieces and granddaughters not having what they need to care for themselves as young women. We could never imagine it causing them to drop out of school. So, without an education, in a country awash in famine and deep poverty, this young lady is without hope. She is stuck. And most unfortunately, she is now faced with unconscionable choices. She must find a way to eat. How can she help her family survive? With this simple question, she begins to fall prey to life in the shadows. Like thousands upon thousands of others, she moves to the city in hopes of finding a job and a chance at a different life. But like all the others, that spark of hope is quickly extinguished by the reality that she is now homeless and barely surviving in the dangerous corners of the street. The darkness quickly spots her and offers her a singular choice: a life starving on the streets or being trafficked into household slave labor, or the more profitable and deadly female sex trade. She has very few other options. For years, our supporters have seen the Forsaken Children help many boys come out of the street life in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And many have asked, where are the girls? Why don't we see girls begging on the streets like we do so many boys? Quite simply, the girls are there, but they are hidden. In the darkness of a ruthless and demoralizing sex industry, exposed and vulnerable on the streets, they must hide to stay safe. Many times, they will even make themselves look like boys just for an extra layer of protection. This is not an isolated experience for a few girls. This is the situation for far too many in Ethiopia. These girls are truly living in the shadows, shackled to hopelessness, shame, and abuse. You have a young girl in your life, daughter, sister, niece. Imagine her. just for a moment, gripped by this darkness, dirty, hungry, tear-stained cheeks, fear in her eyes. The streets of Ethiopia are filled with these girls. These are God's precious children. He sees them. Perhaps He is calling you also to see them. He has equipped us to help you to make a difference, because no one's child should live this way. Now that we know, now that we see, how will we respond?
So we've been involved with TFC for several years, but about 2 years ago, we learned about the RAPS program at the gala, and that program really brought home to us the challenge that specifically girls deal with.
We have 2 teenage daughters ourselves, and gosh, just being a teenage girl is hard enough. These kids, they don't have a home, they don't have a family, and just trying to navigate life is hard. These girls drop out of school simply because of it's that time of the month, and there's a lot of shame that's associated with that. They don't know what to do with it. They can't go to school because they feel that shame because of it, and it starts a really quick downward spiral for these girls.
And something as simple as as the girl develops. As a father, I've got teenage girls who deal with this challenge, but it's not something I have to worry about because we have easy access to the sanitary napkins, and my wife's here to be able to help them. These girls don't have that in Ethiopia. So for TFC through the RAPS program to be able to allow us to help and partner with them to provide this product to these young girls, that keeps them in school, that keeps them in an environment where they learn about Christ, where they learn about how to take care of themselves, where they may not get pregnant because they don't have to drop out of school and they don't have to support themselves. They stay in that structure. It was such an easy decision. We already supported TFC, and to be able to give for the RAPS program in addition is such an easy decision to solve what seems like a simple issue, but is a huge issue because of the location that these girls are living in.
What's the plan? Keep girls in school so they have a hopeful future. Rescue girls from life on the streets. And for young women who have been trafficked or have turned to the sex trade for survival, provide training for jobs and skills that will provide a safe, dignified, and livable income. Let's dive a little deeper. Keep girls in school. This is a two-pronged approach. TFC provides food, school fees, supplies, and uniforms to keep girls in school with our partner Onesimus. The team proactively finds those families whose kids are on the edge and would be vulnerable to the pull of begging, street life, and general instability. For these families, the addition of school and food support helps them prioritize education for their children. To do battle with the challenge that puberty poses for girls, TFC partners with RAPS to provide body education and washable, reusable pads to girls in rural areas. The Ethiopian RAPS team goes into a school and spends an entire afternoon with the girls there, ages 9 to 14, sharing practical, physical education and instruction on how to use the hygiene products. Each girl leaves with their own kit of pads and underwear. These efforts are all geared toward keeping girls in school, because for girls stuck in the cycle of poverty, education means their lives are changed forever. Rescue girls from street life. For girls that find themselves living under bridges, in alleyways, and in all the corners of Addis Ababa, TFC partners with Make Your Mark to help them come out of life in those shadows. After years of successfully helping hundreds of boys break free from life on the streets, the team has just this year opened a dedicated girls' home, the Kalkidan Center. Here, girls find a safe place to process trauma, get basic education and regular healthy meals, and work toward reuniting with family and plan for a more stable and secure future. And with this first group of young ladies in the program, some already have children of their own. The staff is reaching out and helping with care for these young ones as well. So when these teen moms find safety and security, their precious babies do too. Holistic healing is happening, physically, emotionally and spiritually. Rescue from street life means lives are changed forever. Provide alternative job training for girls who've been trafficked or in the sex trade. Young women without an education and under pressure to eat and provide for themselves and their family often find themselves victims of the vicious sex industry. In 2021, TFC started a new partnership with Arise Global to help girls come out of the sex trade and into gainful employment with job training, counseling, and small business seed money. This 6-month empowerment program is seeing young women equipped with practical, marketable job skills so they can have a safe and honorable career path. Job training for girls shackled to a dangerous and shame-filled profession means lives are changed forever. Weaved in and through all parts of this plan to address the unique challenges faced by girls in Ethiopia is the good news of the gospel. The message that there is a Father God who knows these girls, loves them, and has a plan for their lives is changing their lives forever.
My name is Joyce Small, and I have been to Ethiopia 7 times, and I've seen the ministry firsthand, and I've seen the ministry work. There are many young girls who are simply missing school monthly because they do not have the means to meet their feminine monthly cycles. RAPS is there to help care for their needs. I've interacted with a young girl, Sarah, and her life has been changed. Her life is changing simply because she had a warm place to live. She had her needs were met. She was able to have 3 meals a day, and I think the one thing that resonated with me with her was that she was so happy to have shoes to wear. So it was just a joy to interact with her and to see her happy and thriving and having a desire to continue on in school.
The people who live in darkness have seen a great light. And for those living in the shadowland of death, light has dawned. Matthew 4:16. After 3 years, 95% of girls who have received body education and RAPS kits with washable, reusable pads and underwear are still in school. In a year still reeling from a global pandemic, thousands of girls have received personal RAPS kits since January 2021. Access to feminine hygiene products, a seemingly simple thing, is making a difference in the lives of girls who have been used to dropping out of school because of the effects of puberty. With an education and the ability to care for themselves with dignity, these girls' lives are changed forever. Girls who are considered at risk and whose families are living on the edge and vulnerable are getting family food support, housing support, and counseling. Their school fees, uniforms, and supplies are being provided for. With these basic needs covered, they are able to focus on their education. The result? These amazing young women, and many more, now have bright and vibrant futures. Medi is 12 and in the 5th grade. She loves school. Tigist just received her bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. Sarah is in her last year of upper school and will graduate next year. Ruth has graduated high school and working toward a sociology education and career. Bethlehem, after successfully finishing high school, is studying accounting in college. Selamawit is in 8th grade and studying hard. The new Kalkidan Girls Rescue Center just opened in May 2021. These young women and their children are free from homelessness and are preparing for a new life, starting with creation and ending with the lavish gift of salvation that Jesus offers. They are learning about God's story and the truly good news that has the power to set them free from sin and despair. They are talking about and processing trauma. They are getting basic education, body education, and are planning for the future. They are eating healthy, nourishing meals. They are being clothed and protected. Those that are young moms have help in learning how to care for children. They're safe from life in the dark corners of the Ethiopia's capital and are daring to dream and plan for a future free from street life. Their hearts, their minds, their lives are being forever changed. Once trapped, it is hard to escape. But teen girls are breaking free and leaving the sex trade in Addis Ababa. They are being equipped for success with job training, skills, and small business seed money. These young ladies are in the current 6-month cohort and will be ready to launch soon. They are learning that they are precious to the God who made them and are being empowered to live a life of dignity, safety, and purpose. Ethiopia's girls who for too long have lived in the shadows are coming into the light. 50 young women right now are in the second phase of their vocational training for hotel management, secretarial, sewing, and beauty shop work. Listen as one girl shares a bit of her story.
ስሜ ሀረግ እባላለሁ። አረጅ ግሎባል ከመግባቴ በፊት ያው ቤተሰብ አልባ ስለነበርኩኝ መጀመሪያ ሰው ቤት ሰራ ነበር። አይመጣጠንም ቤተሰብ መርዳት ስለነበረብኝ ወደ አራይዝ ግሎባል ስመጣ ከጓደኛዬ ጋር ሆነን ቤት ተከራይተን አራይዝ ግሎባል ከገባሁ በኋላ ብዙ ጥቅሞችን አግኝቻለሁ። በህይወቴ ትምህርት ቤትም ያላገኘኋቸውን ቤተሰብ ውስጥም ያላገኘኋቸውን አግኝቻለሁ እና ከምንም በላይ ምንድነው የስነ ልቦና ትምህርቱ ጠቅሞኛል። ደስ ይላል። ብዙ ነገሮችን ቀይራለሁ በሱ። ቀጥሎ ደግሞ ስለ ፍቅር፣ ስለ ይቅርታ የሚያስተምሩ ትምህርት ደስ እያለኝ ነው የምማረው። ትምህርትም ተምሬያለሁ። ፋሽን ልብስ ስፌት ተምሬያለሁ። መጀመሪያ 3000 ብር ተበደርኩና ቡና ጠጡ ጀመርኩኝ። ከዛ እየሰራው ነው። ድጋሚ ደግሞ 70,000 ብር ወስጄ ቤትም ተከራይቼ ነው የምኖረው። ትምህርትም እየተማርኩ ነው። አሁን በድጋሚ እያስተማረን ነው። የወንዶች ጸጉር እየተማርኩ ነው። ደስ ይላል። አሁን ከዚህ በፊት ያሳለፍኩትን ነገር እንዳይሰሩ ያሳለፍኩት ነገር አስከፊ እንደሆነና ያ ሰውን የሚጠቅመው የሰው ልጅ ቤት ተከራይቶ ባለው ነገርና ቀን ደስ የሚል ስራ እየሰራ በጉልበት የሚሰራ ስራ ቡና ጠጡ ሰርቶ በቀን 50 ብር የሚያመጣው ብር በጣም ትርፋማ እንደሚሆን ነግራቸዋለሁ ጓደኞቼ። ያው ትምህርት መማራለሁ። አራይዝ እያስተማረኝ ነው። ይሄን ያህል ትልቅ ገቢ የለኝም፣ ግን ባለኝ ነገር እኔ ቢያንስ 10 ብር አዋጥቼ ሰፈሬ ላይ ደካማ ሰው ሳይ በቃ አዝናለሁ። ለምን በረንዳ ማደርም ስለማቀው ማመስገን የምፈልገው ከምንም በላይ ማመስገን የምፈልገው እኔ በጣም አራይዝ ግሎባል ነው ማለት እኔ ጓደኛም ሆነ ቤተሰብ የሆነኝ አራይዝ ግሎባል ነው። ራስ አገዝን የሚያገኘው ነው በአራይዝ ግሎባል ነው። ግን አራይዝ ግሎባል ቤተሰብ ነው። እናትም አባትም ነው። ጓደኞቼም እህቶቼ ናቸው። አለቆቻችንም እንደ ወንድም ነው የማያቸው። በቃ ደስ ይላል። አራይዝ ግሎባል እድሜያቸው ይርዘም። በመጀመሪያ ይሄን ሀሳብ ላመጣ ሁሉ እድሜው ይርዘም ነው የምለው። በቃ አመሰግናለሁ።
When friends like you see this need and respond, it makes a difference. All of us, giving what we can, will change young lives forever.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. It means so much that you are here to support and help. Thank you for being with us.
Definitely, thank you. And I want you to know that I know some of these young ladies personally, and I want to ask on their behalf that you give towards their changing lives. The things that you've heard tonight are spectacular, and there's only more to come. So I ask that you would visit the website, that you would give as you're able, because your giving is going to propel these girls even further. So thank you in advance for your gifts. We appreciate you.